Hello everyone, very good afternoon. So, how's it going? Are you writing test series or not? You analyzing the test series? How are you doing it? Are you finding your analysis of CAT questions of CAT question paper uh, all right, sufficient, or effective enough? If not, please write about it in the comment section. Let us help you in whatever way we can. This is the fifth week, which is RC series is going on. We are solving live reading comprehension. This is the fifth week. Uh, from last 2 weeks, we are solving actual CAT questions. Before that, we were solving some amazing questions from other management entrances, but they were again of amazing quality, and the skills used will be same in the reading comprehension. Same central idea, para summary, reading the bad options, seeing which options are wrong, having a understanding of every paragraph. So all these things are we've been doing. Let us know how we can improve, how can we help you. So today again an amazing RC which came, very interesting RC, very useful RC I should say, um, which really I find such well written pieces which have a lot of connection between mental health and the corporate capitalist culture and mental health related. So very good RC, very good article written and one based. So all these RC's reading comprehensions are based on some editorial or article which has come in newspaper or in a magazine or a journal. It can be an article, it can be an editorial, it can be a research paper. Generally in very established magazines like Scientific American Science, Nature, some newspapers, some New York Times or Washington Post, the Guardian of the UK, something of this sort. A very well written piece is taken up, and that piece is sort of presented in form of a reading comprehension, and questions are created in for you. And like we're seeing that trend, that options are sometimes created in a way, they are created in a way to sort of keep you engaged and keep your time, make you utilize, make you waste time on the questions. They look like they're correct question options, but they are incorrect options to just keep you engaged in all those bad options and not allow you to reach the not being bothered by these options and keep reading forward is also way forward. So my name is Anupam. I have more than 3 years of experience as a CAT verbal ability and reading comprehension trainer, mentor, and as a content developer, making questions for various clients. And to stay in touch, download and install an Academy app. Go to Plus, go to CAT, and subscribe. Use the code Saxena10 to get 10% discount in anything more than 12 months. More makes sense to me, so utilize them in the subscription model, which are not less than at least 12 months, because we aim to see you in a good MBA college at the IIMs, at the top IIMs. And if you see at the fee structure, it is amazingly less, and is student pocket friendly, if you can say. 18,900 for 24 months and 15,750 for 12 months. use my code Saxena10 to get a discount. So yes, all right. And also there are a lot of free features on Unacademy app, which will be very helpful. For example, there are live classes. There are a lot of free live classes, free special classes, and free quizzes also. I'm also hosting a special class Sunday 5 p.m. It will be on paragraph summary, which is an important question which comes in CAD, and please join in. And it's free of cost, and all the previous older classes are also which were recorded in the special classes. They are also present. They are also available for your learning and for your skill development. And like I say, that CAD preparation is also helpful for your overall skill development in verbal ability, reading comprehension, grammar, vocabulary, your verbal reasoning, your cognitive aptitude, and your logical reasoning and data interpretation skills. So yeah, it's helpful otherwise as well. So let's come to our discussion of today's. So yeah, I thought that let's keep it simple today. Just talk about one thing as a trick, and then take you to the question and just solve with you a reading comprehension, which I think. So like we do every day, we will be making summary paragraph wise, making short notes in the comment section, and then coming and understanding every question properly. So this also will drill you. I think it will trigger certain thoughts in you, in which you will be also automatically by your own nature, you will be more inclined to creating summaries of whatever you come across. And making summaries is a key, understanding them is a key, and it gives you a lot of confidence on whatever you are solving, whatever question you are doing it. Okay. So tone what is a tone? Tone is nothing but it can be understood by the certain adjective, certain adverbs, idioms and phrases which have been used in the reading comprehension. Okay. Certain certain nouns, certain pronouns, certain words will tell you that the tone is of what kind. Is it a positive tone or it is a negative tone? The tone is critical, or the tone is it has a lot of praise in it, lot of applause in it. Whether the tone is trying to criticize, or it is praising the topic or the people or the institution or something else. So this is also very helpful in understanding the questions and the overall structure of the passage. And also apart from normal, the way in which the passage is written, that is also extremely helpful in understanding the tone. And if you understand the tone properly, although there should be a specific class for tone, probably say next special class on Sunday can be on this on tones. Probably I'll make a note of it and start doing something about it. So that is the next class on tone. Yeah, we can keep an RC class next Sunday, and see to it that it is helpful for you. So so the point here is that it can be really helpful for you to understand the questions also and answer them with a lot of confidence, because we discussed all the features. I think only tone is something which we did not discuss in. If you go to the earlier this series of 2 p.m. classes, you will see that all the RCs from all the standpoint have been discussed before we started solving CAT questions. Along when we were solving the other the questions from other management tests, we were also discussing certain topics, central idea, primary purpose. So we can do a special class next Sunday on tones is also. Sorry for that. Let's start solving so this is, I was talking about, it is about somewhere it talks about emotions and thoughts, and or basically emotions and how they're being utilized by companies and governments, and what is the effect of it. So yeah, let's start reading it. Economists have spent most of the 20th century ignoring psychology, positive or otherwise. But today there is a great deal of emphasis on how happiness can shape global economies or on a small scale successful business practice. I'll just see for a while if it's coming all right here. But today there's a great deal of emphasis on how happiness can shape global economies or on a small scale successful business practices. This is driven in part by a trend in measuring positive emotions, mostly so they can be optimized. So if you read this itself, the first 4 line, you will understand that the author is not happy by the way psychology was ignored in the most part of the 20th century, but now it is being utilized to shape global the emotions. The psychology is being used because psychology deals with emotions only, so it's one of the same thing. If they are mentioning it in that way, it is being used for a business reason. It is being used for profit, and also there's a trend of measuring, so within quotes, measuring positive emotions. Now the author is probably trying to say something. The author is trying to emphasize on the word measuring, that author is being sarcastic or critical of them. He or she is unhappy. Somewhere there's an agony within the author, and hence these emotions can be seen. So basically tone refers to the emotional part of it. Okay. Neuroscientists, for example, claim to be able to locate a specific emotions such as happiness or disappointment in particular areas of brain. So now what they're doing is that the scientists who deal with the neurology, they are locating specific emotions in particular part of brains, and wearable technologies offer advice on how to reduce stress. So basically it is being measured, and it is saying that it is also driven in part. So it is being used for business reasons, and it is also driven by, at least partially, by the new trend of measuring positive emotions. That is how it is. So we can make a summary in that psychology psychology, that's a spelling, is being used for profit, along with an emerging trend of measuring positive emotions. Next says we are no longer just dealing with happiness in a philosophical or romantic sense. It has become something that can be monitored and measured, including by our behavior, use of social media and bodily indicators such as pulse rate and facial expression. So it is saying that it is, we are so we are happiness. If you look at the how he's written it, we are not just dealing with happiness within quote in philosophical romantic. So the author is little angry. Actually, you can sense anger also. It's not dealing with happiness in a philosophical romantic sense. It can be monitored or measured by pulse rate, facial expression, social media usage, bodily indicators, and our behavior. So happiness is being measured, quantified, or is being measured. It's in a simple language. It is being measured. But the author is saying that it is so now happiness is hasn't lost its charm of this thing, that it is a that it's that feeling, which it's that elusive feeling which people feel, that elusive feeling that which people feel ki, okay, I'm happy, I'm feeling happy, and knowing it and half not knowing it and just having a little sense of that I'm happy. But it has become something which is, and or which we used to talk in a romantic or in terms of ideas, in terms of an idea, but it has become a entity which is being measured. It has become a quantifiable discrete entity which in which numbers can be given, that how happy the person was, or for how long, how happy the person was. So this has changed. Okay, vis-a-vis which is opposite, that is which is opposite to the philosophical feeling it used to be thought as. Okay, there is nothing automatically sinister about this trend. So you're saying that you cannot say that the author is saying that there is nothing. What is sinister? Sinister means evil, extremely evil. There is nothing automatically evil about this trend, but it is disquieting that the busyness, that the businesses and experts driving the quantification of happiness claim to have our own best interests at heart, often concealing their own agendas in the process. It is saying that the businesses are not revealing their true intentions. Their actual intention is something else. In workplace, happy workers are viewed as a win-win. Work becomes more pleasant and employee is more productive. But this is now being pursued through use of performance evaluating variable technologies such as humanized or virgin pulse, both of which monitor physical signs of stress and activity towards the goal of increasing productivity. So it is saying here that there is a that that businesses and experts are hiding their true intentions and are utilizing uh, the information about the emotional state of subjects or employees for performance evaluation instead of uh, making workplaces and employees happy and productive. So it says that the this businesses and experts are hiding their true intentions and are utilizing the information about the emotional states of subjects and employees for performance evaluation instead of making workplaces employees more happy and productive. That is the thing here. Now let's try and read this one. Cities such as Dubai, which is pledged to become the happiest city in the world, dream up ever more uh, elaborate and intrusive ways of collecting data on well-being. What is intrusive? Intrusive is when something is defying the privacy. It is defying the normal, so-called normal and socially accepted ways of interfering in someone's life. You're trying to know some more than what the person or the people, a group of people or an institution wants to tell you about it. So it is being very intrusive about it. Cities such as Dubai, which is pledged to become the happiest city in the world, dream up ever more uh, elaborate and intrusive ways of collecting data on well-being, to the point where there is now talk of using CCTV cameras to monitor facial expressions in public places. New ways of detecting emotions are hitting the market all the time. One company, Beyond Verbal, aims to calculate moods conveyed in a phone conversation, potentially without knowledge of at least one of the participants. And Facebook has demonstrated that it could influence our emotions through tweaking our news feeds, opening door to ever more targeted manipulation in advertising and influence. So it is saying that uh, cities, that government, of course, Dubai is doing that, means the government of Dubai or the government of that country, of that particular state is doing it. Government and corporates are uh, how can we say, are I can define right now, define the privacy and liberty of people by collecting data while collecting data and using it to influence their emotions and choices. The government and corporations are defining the privacy and liberty of people while collecting data and using it to influence their emotions and choices. This is how we can simply put it. See, government, Dubai, corporations, Beyond Verbal and Facebook, what they're doing, they are being intrusive when it comes to planning to use CCTV, or they are using ways to collect data, and they're also defining liberty when they do not tell, when Beyond Verbal doesn't tell that it is recording without the knowledge of at least one participant. It is sort of this is defying the privacy and liberty of people, and then it's using it, like in case of Facebook and other marketing companies or sales companies are using it to influence their emotions and their. So it's a gist of it. I think it's a good one, although I'm praising myself. Yeah, let's read the next one. As the science grows more sophisticated and technologies become more intimate with our thoughts and bodies, a clear trend is emerging, where happiness indicators were once used as a basis to reform society, challenging the obsession with money that GDP measurement entrenches. They are increasingly used as a basis to transform or discipline in individuals. So it says that as the science grows more sophisticated and technologies become more intimate with our thoughts and bodies, this is a trend emerging. Yeah, where happiness is being used to reform society. So where earlier it was used to remind people that money is not everything, emotional state is also very important. Right now it is being used to transform people. So yeah, so the purpose of happiness indicators has changed from improving well-being of people to disciplining them. So when earlier the purpose of happiness of the purpose of the happiness indicators was to challenging the obsession which people had with money. You remember there's in Bhutan is always ranked as the richest country when it comes to the happiness index, and but people are more happy there. They are more, so it used to present a vis-a-vis, that whereas money-wise people may be making good money, but in terms of happiness and joy they aren't doing as good. Like So it was used to, people used to rethink ki, the society, the companies, the corporations, the people, the government, everybody reads those reports. So they were rethinking, and some way they were modifying their approach. But now that data is being used to discipline people, which is very sad. So if you read the entire context here, the author is critical. The author is one by one, he or she is trying to, layer by layer, going deep down, looking at it from various perspectives. It is clearly an example of an analytical RC, where the author is trying to analyze from various viewpoints, from various standpoints, what is the problem here, and he or she is sort of providing his ideas at every level, and he or she is asking us to think about it and to analyze for ourselves and come to a conclusion, and author, of course, he or she is completely convinced, and he or she is sort of somewhere angry, and there is criticism, and there is bit of a sarcasm also here and there, which we find in the. So since tone as a question has not been asked, I'm just telling you all this so that you can understand ki, okay, if the tone is like that, then obviously how questions can be, or what questions can be asked, and how the options will be framed. So it'll give you, like I said, it'll reduce the element of surprise. If you go to our earlier classes, which we have done in the first 3 weeks of Just Cat channel, when I began talking here, we did a lot of work, and I used to say always that the entire agenda, whatever we're doing here, is to reduce that element of surprise and make you more comfortable with various kind of writings, right? So happiness becomes a personal object that each of us must work on, like going to gym. Since 1970s, depression has come to be viewed as a cognitive or neurological defect in the individual, and never a consequence of circumstances. All of this simply escalates the sense of responsibility each of us feels for our own feelings, and with it, the sense of failure when things go badly. Okay, a society can so this, it says that now the depression and our emotions, they bother us even more, because this escalates a sense of responsibility, and sense of failure when things go bad. So so in earlier days, emotions were considered something which were happened because of the outside influences. Say if things are happening to you in that way, you will be responding to it in a negative. If negative is happening, you will respond in a negative way. Positive is happening, you will respond in a positive manner. But from 1970s, there is an onus, there's a responsibility on the people to be to manage their emotions, and if they feel badly about it, if they aren't doing very well, then it is somewhere their own failure, or somewhere their own responsibility. So this has also further increased the burden on the people to be happy and to be aware of their emotions. A society that deliberately removes certain sources of misery, such as precarious and exploitative employment, may well be a happier one, but we don't get there by making this single, often fleeting emotion the overarching goal. So what he's saying that sorry for that. So that deliberately when that we can achieve this goal when things like ex exploitive employment, things where which the jobs which are dangerous for people, all these things are removed, then probably it will be a happier one. But we cannot reach there by making happiness as an emotion or overarching goal, because probably like it's sort of referred to, this line someone was referred to, that if things go badly, we will feel bad for ourselves, and we'll be always thinking that if we are not happy, then it is our fault. But somewhere also certain circumstances around us also affect our emotions and on us, and we may not be very glad and happy at the moment. All right. So this can be summarized as that idea of people being responsible for their emotions has plays tremendous pressure on the people. Idea that people are responsible for their own emotions has placed tremendous pressure on the people. And what it has done, it has also but we can help people be happy by removing certain exploitative employment. But the sole aim of being happy can be counterproductive. It can be sorry for bad, my bad, the spelling was on counterproductive. Because of writing on the fly everything and making somebody in front of you, sometimes we forget the spelling, and there's a lot of pressure also at times to be that good verbal faculty. Yeah, and which we all try very very hard at the same time to be. So the idea that people are responsible for their emotions has placed tremendous pressure on the people. We can help people uh, be happy. We can help people uh, to be happy by removing certain exploitative employment exploitative workplaces, something like that. But to be happy by removing certain exploitative workplaces by okay, by stopping exploitative workplace and by stopping exploitative workplaces and policies, but the sole aim of being happiness or being happy can be counterproductive. So yeah, let's start solving the question. So if we can just go back roughly quickly and read the R summaries only. Psychology is being used for profit along with an emerging trend of measuring positive emotions. Happiness is being measured and monitored, which is opposite to the philosophical feeling of happiness was a philosophical feeling. Happiness used to be thought as okay, happiness used to be okay. So earlier happiness was just a feeling, was a state of mind. Now it is being measured, it's being monitored. Businesses and experts are hiding their true intentions and are utilizing the information about the emotional states of subjects and employees for performance evaluation instead of making workplaces and employees more happy and productive. Government and corporates are defying the privacy and liberty of people while collecting data and using it to influence their emotions and choices. The purpose of happiness in indicators has changed from improving the well-being of people to the well-being of people to disciplining them. The idea that people are responsible for their emotions has placed tremendous pressure on them. We can help people to be happy by stopping exploitative workplaces and policies, but the sole aim of being happy can be, but the sole aim of being happy can be counterproductive, or we can say can be harmful. In fact, can be unhelpful. Yeah, unhelpful will be a simple, because I'm using simple words so that I can explain it to you. You can also go back and you can use these words when you're writing your own summaries, because if you write the summary in your own words, only then it will be helpful for you. Writing a summary in the words used by the author or used by me or someone else is not going to help you. Utilize simple words to understand. I don't know whether utilizing your own vernacular language can be helpful or not, that I cannot say, but at least using simple English language, the kind of language in which you say probably talk to your friends or probably type on your personal whatever messages you exchange, that sort of a language, simple, very simple, just because it's your own rough work. I'm doing so much because I have to be, although whenever I make my own summaries, if I ever make, I also try to keep them as proper as possible. But here it is sort of, because you are reading and it's in a, it has to be done with a certain amount of effort and certain amount of qualities associated with whatever we are delivering here, because these words can be used by you also tomorrow. These sentences can be used by you tomorrow. So these should not be grammatically incorrect. They should be perfect. So hence we do so much of effort. But summary for this paragraph can be made in less than 5 minutes, and this question can be solved in next 2 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes if you have enough of practice. Okay, so 7 minutes, 7 into 5, 35, 5 minutes more, 40, and then 5 minutes, or if you see from a 60-minute standpoint, if you see from 40-minute standpoint, naturally the number of questions which you will have to attempt, they will be reduced. So yeah, that means you can say probably solving 3 RCs and in 3 minutes, and rest of the time is for your 3 or 4 RCs basically in 20 minutes, and rest of the so 7 into 3 is 21. So yeah, 3 RCs, and then rest of the 19 minutes for, say, your VA section and your revision. Because if they're reducing the number of the minutes, the time, of course, obviously they will be, if they're keeping the number of questions same, naturally people will do lesser number of questions in one third of the time, and the cutoff will come down. So yeah, that's all right. If you attempt less questions, it is perfectly all right. And yeah, if you attempt 3 RCs also, that's around 15 questions, and 15 plus 5 more, so at 20. Yeah, so it'll come down to that sort of a question. So from 32 questions correctly, it will come down to 20, so it's all right in 40 minutes vis-a-vis 60 minutes. Let's start solving this question here. The author's view would be undermined by which of the following research findings? The author's view would be undermined by which of the following research findings? Okay, so what is the author's view? Author's view is that the happiness data, or the data related to emotions, it is being misused by corporations and governments to either discipline them or to gain profit from them, or it is being used to manipulate their emotions and their choices, basically. So if you read one, so it should be something which is opposite. What is undermined? To prove it to be wrong, to make it weaker, right? Remember we were doing yesterday, the term came negate. So which of the findings will negate the ideas given by the author? Same thing is undermine, that is to disprove, to make it weaker. Okay. Stakeholders globally are moving away from collecting data on the well-being of individuals. So stakeholders are globally moving away from collecting data on well-being. So yeah, they are moving away from collecting data on the well-being of people. So this is against it, because they are saying that governments are collecting data, governments and corporations, and they are misusing it. They are not using it for the purpose of well-being. They are using it for profit. They are using it for disciplining them. They are using it for evaluating the performance, right? And then comes, there is a definitive move towards the adoption of wearable technology that taps into emotion. Now there's a definitive move. So this is something which was mentioned there in the first paragraph also, that wearable technologies such as Spire offered data advice on how to reduce stress. So this was being said that this is in part driven by a trend in measuring positive emotions, mostly so they can be optimized. So this is correct only. 2 is basically it is supporting the idea. So it is as it's so it is irrelevant as it supports the author's ideas, because we were looking for something which is undermining it. Which one is doing? Proliferation of gyms, that is gyms are like their number of gyms are opening, more and more are opening, that are collecting data on customer well-being. So number of gyms that are collecting data on well-being of customer, that is again this is again something which is something which is not undermining it directly, well-being of individuals is being seen here, but that well-being is not being utilized properly. They're collecting data, so we don't know what intention do these gym people do this gym chain has, and this also is in line with whatever has been discussed by the author. So same thing here, it is irrelevant as it supports the ideas of the it's irrelevant to the question, basically. That is how it is. Customers worldwide are utilizing technologies to monitor and increase their well-being. This is also in individuals worldwide. So individuals are using it. That is being done, but it is again not relevant to the question. Also, if you see that a lot has not been spoken here, or I think it has not been spoken at all, about people measuring their own well-being. This has not come here, although there have said that Spire and offer data-driven advice on how to reduce stress. This is coming here, but something like these has not been spoken about, or even if it has been spoken of, it is being spoken of with an intent to tell that how it is being misutilized. This data is being misutilized by corporations and government for their own benefit. So it is again irrelevant to the question, and we already found a right answer here, that if the stakeholders globally, that is the government and the corporations, are moving away from collecting data on well-being of individuals, that means they will also not be able to discipline them or manipulate their emotions, or sort of do appraisal of their performance, how they're doing. This all they'll not be able to do. So for this reason, I think this is the right answer. The stakeholders globally are moving away from collecting data on well-being of individuals. This is the right answer, the green one. In the author's opinion, the shift in thinking in 1950s, in 1970s, what was shift in thinking in 70s? Here, the idea that people are responsible for their emotions has placed tremendous pressure on them. Read here, since 1970s, depression has come to be viewed as a cognitive or neurological defect in individual, and never a consequence of circumstances. All of this simply escalates a sense of responsibility each of us feels for our own feeling, and with it the sense of failure when things go badly. So since the external factors are nowhere understood as a factor in modifying the people's emotions, in making them feel in certain way, that's their emotional condition. It's always the people who have to manage and to take care of their own happiness all the time. So this is sort of make this stressful. Okay, put people in touch with their feelings rather than depending on the psychologist. This is irrelevant. This is something this was never said. Was welcome change from earlier view that depression could be cured by changing circumstances. This is again opposite. Sorry, this is again irrelevant. Why? Because welcome was never said. Also, if you see, it is I was right. It is actually opposite. Why? Because in the RC, if you read, the author is critical of it. Author is saying that this has made people more unhappy. It has stressed them out. It has put tremendous pressure on them. So the author is saying that it's an unwelcome change. It's not welcome. Whereas it is saying that it's a welcome change. So in a way, it is also irrelevant and opposite to the ideas of the RC, or I can say idea or the entire spirit of the RC. Third says, introduced greater stress into people's lives as they were expected to be responsible for their own happiness. Okay. Yeah, so it introduced greater stress into people's life as they were expected to be responsible for their own happiness. How? Read here, we've done this. Idea that people are responsible for their emotions has placed tremendous pressure on them. We can help people to be happy by stopping exploitative workplaces and policies, but the sole aim of being happy can be unhelpful. It has placed tremendous pressure, which is correct. It introduced greater stress into lives of people as they were expected to be responsible for their own happiness. Right? Fourth, reflected the emergence of neuroscience as the authority on human emotions. This is again irrelevant. You can say that this is irrelevant. All right, let me see if it's right here. From the passage, we can infer that the author would like economists too. From the passage, we can infer that the author would like economists too. What would the author like? So remember, in the entire passage, the author is saying that emotions are not being used properly. They are being used for a negative purpose. Right? If you read initially, also it is being used. Psychology is being used for profit, along with the emerging trend of measuring positive emotions. So it says that economists have spent most of the 20th century ignoring psychology, positive or otherwise, but today there is a great deal of emphasis on how happiness can shape global economy. So it's a profit-driven approach. It's for measurement of in terms of the performance of people, for their influencing their emotions and choices, from disciplining them, and for laying the onus on their people's happiness on their own shoulders. So so what would the author like the economist to know? This is an application question. This question can be answered by one, inferring the whatever the author thinks, and two, applying it properly. And it also depends upon the tone. Tone is critical. The tone is sarcastic. He's unhappy. He's angry with it. So obviously he will like things to change. And what was he unhappy about? That the data with respect to emotions, whatever they have collected, whatever they're doing, it should be used for a good cause. It should be made to people more relaxed, to bring some changes, to make workplaces more productive than what they are already, right? So basically, one, correlate measurements of happiness with economic indicators. Uh, Correlate, or this is what they were saying, that he was never talking about that we should be relating happiness with economic indicators. It was, he always said that it should be used to remind people that GDP is not the only way to measure people happiness, to make them happy by making them little less stressed out, by changing exploitative work practices, changing things making the workplaces more happier, something of that sort. So uh, he never said something of this. So this is irrelevant. Measure the effectiveness of Facebook and social media advertisement. No, he was never asking about it. So this is basically irrelevant again. In a way, it is opposite also, because he never wanted to talk. He never spoke about their effectiveness, or he was actually against it. He's actually against it. Work closely with neuroscientists to understand human behavior. Again, it is irrelevant. Fourth, incorporate psychological findings into the research cautiously. Yes, this is the right answer. That it would incorporate psychological findings into their research cautiously, because he would like them to be to utilize them in the correct. So he's wanting them to utilize them for good purpose, whether it is improving their work life, including making the workplaces less exploitative in nature, making the workplaces more happier in nature, and improving the overall well-being of people, reminding them that money is not everything in life. So this is how it should be used. Vis-a-vis, it is being used in a bad way, in an harmful way. And fourth, incorporate psychological findings into their research. According to the author, Dubai is on its way to on its way to becoming one of the world's happiest. Is on its way to becoming one of the world's happiest happiest cities. Sorry for that. Is it saying that that Dubai is on its way to becoming one of the world's happiest cities? No, author doesn't agree with this. So this is again irrelevant. Next comes, develops sophisticated technologies to monitor its inhabitant state of mind. This is again irrelevant. Collaborates with Facebook to selectively influence its inhabitants' mood. I'm sorry, my bad. It's the second option was correct. That my bad. Sorry for that. Yeah, it develops sophisticated technologies to monitor its inhabitant state of mind. Come here. We made summary on this as well. Governments and corporates are defying privacy and liberty of people while collecting data and using it to influence their emotions and choices. Cities such as Dubai, which has pledged to become happiest city in the world, dream up ever more elaborate and intrusive ways of collecting data on well-being, to the point that there is now talk of using CCTV cameras to monitor facial expressions in public places. Right? So it is developing ever more intrusive ways, which are, like I said, they are defying the privacy and liberty of the people and collecting data and using it to influence their emotions and choices. It develops sophisticated technologies to monitor its inhabitant state of mind. 3. Collaborates with Facebook to selectively influence its inhabitants' mood. Collaborates with Facebook to selectively influence its inhabitants' mood. No, it did not do that. We have no information. In fact, Facebook was the example for Facebook was not for Dubai. Facebook example was not done with any example of any regional name. So they did not mention any name here. All right, they just said that Facebook is using it. Facebook has demonstrated that it could influence our emotions through tweaking our news feeds. And 4, incentivizes companies that prioritize company worker welfare. This has again never been said. So again, they both are irrelevant to the question, and I will also write they are irrelevant to the RC. So from RC standpoint, they are again irrelevant and incorrect. Now comes your 5th question. According to the author, wearable technologies and social media are contributing most to. According to the author, wearable technologies and social media are contributing most to what? They are contributing to, like I said, they are being used to discipline individuals to be happy. Okay. Remember here, idea that people are responsible for the own emotions has placed tremendous pressure on them. Purpose of happiness indicators has changed from improving well-being of people to disciplining them. Governments are defining privacy and liberty of people to influence emotions and choices. Business experts are hiding their true businesses and experts are hiding their true intentions and are utilizing the information about the emotional states for performance evaluation instead of making them for workplaces. Again, psychology is being used for profit along with emerging trend of measuring positive emotions. So here, best option is disciplining individuals to be happy. Other options, let's read it quickly. Depression as a thing of past. No. Making individuals aware of stress in their lives. No. happiness as a personal project. Happiness as a personal project. Basically they are disciplining individuals to be happy. That is the right answer. All the other options are irrelevant. Happiness as a person project, reference came here. It was mentioned that it has introduced more stress on people. It never meant that that wearable technologies and social media has sort of contributed to making happiness as a person project, in a way that it was making it more difficult to achieve by putting on more stress, making individuals aware of the stress in lives. This has nowhere been mentioned, because if you see social media reference which was given in with respect to Facebook, it was tweaking their news feeds to change their emotions, right? And the variable technologies and social media are they are being used by various companies also, if you can see, to in the summaries or whatever we have written, to discipline people to be happy, basically, right? We have done all our summaries properly, and depression is a thing of past. This is again irrelevant. In fact, it is contrary to it. All right, and this is the so so let's meet tomorrow again at 2 p.m. Let's solve one more RC, which in great detail, and make you aware of other methods to look at an RC and how to solve it from various methods. So it's continuous research we are doing in our classes, and making our classes more knowledge oriented, and of course I think it can be little it can be little heavy for you people, but we'll try and do what best we can do. So Unacademy subscription offers live classes. You interact with the educator, live polls and leaderboard, test series, and analysis, and live doubt clearing sessions. So so much so is being offered. At the same time, we are also offering lot of free special classes, and we are also offering a lot of quizzes at the same time on our Unacademy app. So please utilize them, and also the older classes will be recorded, and they will be stored for your usage, so that you can view and you can learn from them. You can use my code Saxena10 to get a 10% discount. Let's meet tomorrow again at 9 a.m. and at 2 p.m. 9 a.m. we'll be doing a couple of questions on para summary, and at 2 p.m. we'll be doing our regular RC class. All right, thank you very much.